All right, this is a moment of gratitude for unanswered prayers. I just came across a video by, I think her name is Afnan Khalifa, and she's one of the young ladies that I follow. Really love her and admire her, that she managed to keep God in the center of her drive as a businesswoman, and that is something that's deeply personal to me. 2024, I came back to Jamaica. Honestly, the beginning of 2024, my mom was ill, and it was deep because of something I told her. She was stressing about blood pressure gone up, not go down, and I was so deeply remorseful of how I told her what I told her. And then everything just, at the time, like, I was dealing with some personal transitions in Toronto as well, and it was just a chaotic moment, and I just made the decision to come home, because if something were to happen to my mom, God forbid, I wanted to be there, and I also wanted her to know that I do not blame her for what happened to me, and I love her in spite of our tumultuous relationship, that I have a very deep love and reverence for my mom, for my parents actually, because I understand that they're human, and everything that would have happened or transpired in my childhood, I don't hold them blame. I don't hold anybody responsible for anything. I deeply believe that everything that happens to us in this lifetime is meant to happen. I found that resonance in Islam, that belief system that I hold, that tawakkul, that I truly deeply surrender to God in a way that is not normal for the average person, that I did not find in Christianity. I surrender to God in a way that I wholeheartedly believe that everything that happens to me is happening for me. Like, I wholeheartedly believe in God's grand plan. And everything that transpired in early 2024 was so beautifully chaotic that from the outside it looked like a storm, right? And on the inside I was finding so much inner peace. It was like I was learning a lot in such a short span of time, and it was a beautiful learning. March 2020, it was before actually went actually March 2024, at the spring equinox, I met Paula Herlock, and I connected with like-minded people, and it was so beautiful to finally find people who I resonated with. And then in that same breath, I was fasting for Ramadan. I had not taken Shahada yet at the time, but I actually had started. I was learning, I was reading Quran, I was learning and exploring, and I was just embracing the teachings. And I decided to take Shahada at the end of Ramadan 2024, and that was transformative for me, because let me tell you, Ramadan 2024, because with everything that I was dealing with, remember at the time I hadn't taken Shahada yet, but I was fasting and I was praying, and I'm telling you, I was very, very imperfect during that time. Like, there was no, as you can see, I don't practice this faith in a way that it is taught, or that it is practiced by the majority. I really do believe in intersectionality and drawing lessons from globally, let's just call it that. So I don't even not necessarily just want to say religions, because I still read the Bible, I still pray, I still sing gospel songs, I still pray in the way that Christians would have prayed. The only thing I don't do anymore, I don't pray to Jesus. I do respect Jesus as a prophet, but I just don't believe that Jesus is God. I never did. Even when I was a wholehearted Christian, I never believed that Jesus is God, and I don't understand that thing. But anyway, we're not going to go into that. The point of this video is big up God. Big up God for every unanswered prayer, because like, I remember praying for some very specific things, I used to pray for specific things. I'd be like, Allah Umma Ini. You know that thing that all the girls were doing? 2024, Allah Umma Ini as Halakal Jannah, Allah Umma Ini as Halakal G-Wagon, Allah. Like, I used to pray specific prayers like that. My duas used to be very specific. I wanted the Audi Q7, all electric. I wanted the chalet. God knows the very design of the house that I want. I want the 250 acres of land in Jamaica, farmland. I want to build out the beautiful farm, beautiful homestead, beautiful eco village. I want lots and lots of children. I want to travel the world. I want to become a certified scuba diver, certified yoga teacher, certified free diver. I want to do so much, be so much, and explore so much. And I used to pray those specific prayers. I have a vision for my life that God gave me at 20 years old on Irving, UWI Mona campus. I lived on Irving Hall. I had a dream. Yeah, man, Martin Luther King. I had a dream in first year in my dorm bed. I woke up and I wrote out every single aspect of that dream because it was so plain. It was so plain. It was not one of those dreams that you guess and spell. And God gave me that vision for my life, and I've held on to it, and I trust Him wholeheartedly with it, even when time everything don't look like nothing not come to fruition. And I just have to thank Him for the unanswered prayers. And for thank Him for the unanswered prayers. Last year, I made a decision. I started dating someone. I was trying to take my faith more seriously. I started dating someone, and they asked me to move in. And I was like, I will not be living with a man unmarried. In Islam, we believe in doing like what do you call it? A nikah, which is a religious marriage. Right? And then you can, of course, after that you can do your legal marriage. Some people combine them in one. I said to him, I will not be living with a man unmarried. So even if we don't decide to do the legal marriage right away, we'd have to do the religious marriage. I'm gonna say, all right, boom. At that point, we had known each other. With the time we decided to do, it would have been about 2 months, not long, because I made up my mind that I am going to stick to this thing here. And we went to the Shea, went to the Islamic Council of Jamaica, we talked to them. I spoke to my Islamic community overseas, because I did start embracing Islam from Canada. So I spoke to, the persons that I admired, and I spoke to them, and everybody was like, if you're already doing the thing, might as well do the thing, you know what I mean? So we decided to go ahead. We did shahada. We did nikah March 25th 2025. That was in Ramadan as well. Beautiful. The person also took shahada, because that is mandatory to be able to perform nikah. And I lived with that person for 8 months. I did wholeheartedly consider him my husband, because, as I said, I trying to take my faith seriously. And that experience really, really taught me that I can't embrace the religion like how other people embrace the religion. I'm not a religious person. And I cried and I prayed for those 8 months. Those 8 months I cried and I prayed, and I was like, God, I know I said I wanted this, but this is not, this is not it. This is not it. My life got so small living with that person. Like, my life got so small. Everything just, I did not like it. Like, I am an outside girly. Like, I need to be outside. I need to be going to the beach all the time. I need to be hiking. I need to be camping. I need to be mingling every now and then. I need to go out one party every now and then. I need to go out for dinner very, very often. I need to be free. I need to explore. I am not a stay-at-home woman. No. I could be a stay-at-home wife though. But seriously, I'm not the kind of person who will be happy in just this box right here. No. So, man, I felt bad for him at some points because he had to witness me crying and praying and crying and praying, and I wasn't using my words out loud, so he didn't know what I was crying and praying about. Sometimes he would ask and I would be like, I feel very sad for myself. I am praying and crying because I'm feeling really sad for myself. I know that I chose this as an adult. I wasn't forced, I wasn't coerced, I chose this. But now that I have it, I realize that it's not what I want. And yeah, I tried to stick to that commitment. I tried to honor that commitment, and I did. And alhamdulillah, in the end, he was the one who decided to call things off. And I was so grateful because I tried to leave twice in the beginning. Actually, I tried to leave a couple times, and you know, this person would just ask for my patience and everything with their situation, and I tried, but alhamdulillah, God had better things in store for me, and I am so grateful for unanswered prayers and answered prayers because I prayed. I was like, God, I know I said that I want to do this. I know that I said fi dunya wal akhirah. I know that I committed to this. I know. But, oh my God, this is not it. And so, big up God, because he knows what he's doing. And the good thing about the Islamic faith is that the man can release you from this commitment. So I still honored it, right? I think I still did a good job. Big up God for unanswered prayers. And I'm in a place now of complete surrender since that relationship, since I was released from that thing there. I grieved it, and I grieved the version of me that decided to stay in it, to get into it and stay into it. I grieved that girl because that girl of last year was just a woman full of compassion, and I was very compassionate about his situation. I was very empathetic. It was a shitty situation, right? And I don't think that this person is an unkind person. I genuinely feel like he did his best to love me in the ways that I receive love. I think he did his best, and I'm grateful for the experience, and I'm happy that it taught me what I want and don't want, and that I also am very unlikely to live with a man unlegally married. It's very unlikely that I will ever live with a man in a house that we did not buy. It must be our home. It's very unlikely for me to move into a man's house. I learned a lot about myself throughout that relationship. I will never date a man that I will never, and God, I learned that, let me rephrase, I learned that I am not the type to be able to be with someone who has has children prior to the marriage, and therefore a person prior to our relationship. I learned that I am not, while I enjoy doing domestic stuff, I do not like serving a man. I think that's the word. I love taking care of my partner, so I don't even know if I'm phrasing that the right way, but I don't want to be expected to be domestic. I need to be in a household where those things are shared equitably, and or not. I mean, he could do all of it. am perfectly happy with that. Yeah. I learned a lot about myself. A lot. Being a stay-at-home wife, not for me. I love having my own money and being able to do whatever I want whenever I want. I don't want to be anybody's financial burden. I think Allah brought me here. I am God's financial burden. Yeah, I learned a lot, and I'm so grateful because in the beginning I remember praying for things to work out. I was praying for us to find our groove and stuff. I prayed for him to find God and to get closer to God, and that did not happen. And so I also learned that I will not marry a man that doesn't have a relationship with God all by himself. I cannot bring anybody to God, especially not a man. That is not my calling. So they have to find God for themselves. God has to be the author of their lives in a way where he's their mentor. He's who they default to, because I don't want to be the head of my household. As dominant as I am, and as capable and competent as I am, I don't wanna be the head of my household. I need to be with someone who is. I'm not talking about head as in you telling me what to do. I'm talking about head as in leadership. Like you have some freaking common sense. You're educated and you're cultured and you know God for yourself and you can pray for yourself. You can call me to prayer. That is something that I'm learning now. I'm trying my hardest not to call anybody to prayer. I'm trying my hardest. Every time I notice it happening, I say to myself, I don't want this. This is not what I want. So let me leave it there. Alhamdulillah for unanswered prayers. Alhamdulillah for answered prayers. Alhamdulillah for growth. Alhamdulillah for steadfast love. And alhamdulillah for mercy, because God is so merciful and so patient, so kind, so compassionate. Alhamdulillah for that. Alhamdulillah for a relationship with God.